So Anna, what you doing here?
Just doing my job.
Y'all know the name. dSource.
He is none other than Indian Banuelos. How doing, Indian?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Great, great, great. So first things first, is your real name Indian or is that your nickname?
No, that's actually my actual birth name. My full
Oh
name's
wow, cool.
Indian. Yeah, my full name's Indian Tizoc Banuelos.
Wow, that's interesting. Are you of Indian descent?
No, both of my parents are from Mexico. It's just that my dad didn't want me or my brothers to have regular names like everybody else. He wanted us to have one-of-a-kind names.
Definitely, definitely. And Indian is definitely a unique name.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, you're set to debut soon, right? And
yeah, actually on the 25th.
Oh, all right. So you're gonna be in that same card with David Rodela, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome, man. So can you tell us how you feel right now, how's training, and your opponent for that fight card?
I actually feel real good, man. I feel great. I'm in real top shape. I feel strong. I actually train out of the same gym as David at Knuckleheads in Ventura. Yeah, I feel strong. I don't really know anything about my opponent. I just know he's from Bakersfield, but honestly, I don't care to know much about him. You know, I'm confident in what I can do. I'm confident in what I can do, and, you know, I'm ready to get that W on the 25th.
That's awesome, man. And we don't get to talk to a lot of debuting fighters, but it's really great that we have this young blood, this influx of young blood still coming in the sport of boxing, especially when you hear people saying that boxing is dead, boxing is this, boxing is that. So can you talk to us more about how you got into the sport? You know, why you decided to be a professional boxer?
Yeah, well, it all started when I was little. I mean, we grew up around it. My uncles, cousins, everybody in my family has been boxers, but they just did it amateur, you know, and nobody ever really got far in it. They just did it for fun, I guess, or just, you know. But we always watched it ever since growing up. That's the only sport I would watch. Honestly, if you ask me today, if you ask me anything about any other sport, I couldn't answer anything. I don't know anything about football, basketball, baseball, anything like that. All I know is boxing.
You haven't heard of Jeremy Lin?
No, I haven't.
It's all right. He's a basketball player that Floyd Mayweather just dissed recently. But yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no. Well, Floyd, I know who Floyd is, but actually, you know what? I read his Twitter. He was talking about a Asian player, something about something. He was saying something, but But yeah, I got into it as a young boy. I saw my dad taking my brothers out, and I just jumped in the car, and we ended up going to the boxing gym. And, you know, I just put on the gloves and started from there. And my brothers were also boxers, but they stopped. You know, they got their girlfriends, and they just rather do that, their own thing. So I kept doing it, and now I'm ready to make my professional debut.
That's awesome, man. How old are you right now?
22.
There you go, 22. Still a whole lot ahead of you, man. And you're definitely in a very good gym at the Knuckleheads gym out there in Oxnard. Can you talk to us more about the Knuckleheads gym and why it's so special?
Yeah, I'm actually really, really, really happy I'm boxing out of Knuckleheads. I mean, you know, we have a lot of great fighters such as Victor Ortiz, David Rodela. We have Jose Aguiniga making his comeback. He's 31-0. You know, we have Maureen Shia. She's a WBC world champion. She's a female boxer. We have a lot of good talent coming out of this gym, you know, and we're all such a tight family. I mean, we train so hard, you know. We're going to bring the sport back. For those who say that boxing is dead, Knuckleheads, you'll see Knuckleheads at the top of the game, and we'll bring the sport back.
Absolutely. And can you talk to us about witnessing somebody like Victor Ortiz train at the gym and how that inspires you? And has he shared to you some tips and whatnot, or have you tried to like work with him before?
Yeah, I mean, we've done strength and conditioning with Victor before, and he's a really great guy, man. Victor, you know, just watching him train, we saw him train for the fight against Berto, Maidana, all his fights, and, you know, we saw him win his title. So, I mean, to train with somebody like that and watch them become world champions, only inspires you to do the same. And it makes you just work harder to be in the same level as he is, and every day Victor is just a great guy, man. He'll do anything he can to help us. Anytime we see him at the gym, he'll give us tips. He'll do anything for us, So we're really lucky to have somebody like him on our team.
That's great to hear. And speaking of Victor, how's he doing these days? Because I know he was upset that his fight against Andre Berto, that rematch, got canceled. So how's he feeling? And do you have any information on his possible next fight?
No, I don't. He's actually, I think they're doing the fight in June, aren't they? I think June 30th is the reschedule of the same against Berto. Somewhere around that time, but we actually haven't talked to him. I know he was upset over the fight, training hard and everything, and then just one day, and especially on his birthday, he got the news that the fight was canceled, so, that was pretty hard, but he's doing good. We haven't seen him lately, but I'm sure he's staying in shape. I just seen a picture recently of him, and he still looks like a beast, man. Victor's, he's a tough guy, and he's gonna become world champion once more.
Definitely, and he. Yeah, definitely, and he's still so young. He just turned 25, right?
Yeah. So he's got a lot going for him still. So you'll see him back at the top of the game. He's still there, but you'll see him champion again pretty soon.
Definitely, no doubt. But can you tell us something about Victor Ortiz that other people might not know or might have a wrong impression about him? Because I personally, I've given him praise, but I've also criticized him from a third-person standpoint, because I what I see, and like with me, like one of the questions I had for Ortiz was with his performance against Mayweather. I kind of thought that in that fight that he kind of mentally lost it, in terms of the headbutt and what happened.
Yeah.
But talk to us more about that, what people might not know about him, and just share something about Victor.
Yeah. Well, Victor's a really nice guy. Like I said, he works hard. He's won his world title and then lost it against Mayweather. But, Mayweather's the top fighter in the sport. Whose head hasn't Mayweather got into? It wasn't just Victor's head. I mean, Victor maybe got overwhelmed by everything. I mean, I haven't talked to him about it, but I was at the fight and I saw everything, and I think, he's still young. He still needs to grow more. Like me, I'm barely starting in the sport, Maybe one day I'll be in his shoes where he was when he became world champion. And, just people don't know what the sport's really like until they're actually in it, It's a tough sport, people, commentators, the viewers, everybody says this, says that about Victor, but Victor is a really nice guy. I mean, he might have just got overwhelmed with everything. It's the biggest fight. Who really gets to fight Floyd Mayweather? Not everybody gets that opportunity. So maybe his emotions were running high or something, and it just he wasn't mentally there. I don't think he kept his composure or anything, and it just got the better of him, and he just lost it in there. But I mean, if he were to get the rematch, I'm sure he would do a lot better. But it was just a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes, everybody makes them, and we just learn from them. So what can you do now? Just to learn from a mistake and never do it again, and just capture another world title.
Definitely, and considering what happened, like Victor was really coming on that round. And he definitely had an opportunity to start hurting Mayweather and turn the tide in that fight. It was just so unfortunate that the fight ended up the way it did. But like you said, he's a young kid. He has a world, ahead of him, and he can definitely just bounce back from an experience like that. But thanks for your thoughts, man. That's why I like talking to people around fighters, around the gyms, because you guys really know a lot of things that us from the outside looking in don't even have a clue about,
Yeah.
So man, let's talk about your fighting style and what you bring to the table, and who are your influences and the people that you emulate.
Actually, I'd like to think of myself as having my own style, I mean, I could be an aggressive fighter, and I can also just outbox someone. Doing my job, doing my job.